All right, welcome back to the Hona Podcast. Try Hona, tryhona.com, honafiber.com. You're with Justin, Eliza, and Andrew, the founders of Hona Fiber and Greens. We felt that there was a miss in the market for a greens powder that also had fiber, that also had probiotics, that also had stuff like astaxanthin and dulse, which is a red algae and a red seaweed. And so we created Hona Fiber and Greens.
And tasted good.
And tasted, well, end of story, exclamation mark. Tasted great.
Yeah.
Not just good. So you actually look forward to drinking it. And so, but yeah. So anyways, welcome back. Last week we were talking about the costs of living a unhealthy lifestyle with regards to food and how that can actually end up costing you more, and what the healthcare costs as a community, because we are a community. We're a community of people wherever we are, and that has implications on our healthcare, what we all pay for, all those things. And so we're talking about that, and the cost of productivity as being less productive based upon the fuel. You know, if you want your vehicle to perform its best, you're going to make sure the filters are changed and the oil's changed and you got the best gas you can go in it, and it's going to get you, and the tires are checked. That's food. That's our food, you know? And if we're not doing that, then we're not going to be as productive. We're not going to be as happier. And so how do we change that? All right. So today we're here to talk to you about how do we offset or combat the food problem that you have in your diet of eating crap food and feeling like crap because you eat it.
Because motivation is cute, but discipline is where it's at. Discipline is key.
Yeah.
So we have to have habits.
Yeah. I'm super motivated to do things all the time for a few minutes.
Oh yeah. You hear a good quote and you're like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
But
motivation is fleeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
It only lasts for a minute or so. And then you're back to, oh, well, geez, that really tasted good. I have no more motivation. I just have desire.
Is it Jocko that talks about that? Yeah. I've seen some of his quotes on that.
He says, I'm not motivated. I'm disciplined.
Yeah.
Oh, and you hear people all the time that are like super accomplished and they'll call themselves lazy. They're like, I'm a lazy person, but they're disciplined.
Yeah.
They get up and they have a routine, and routine is key. I was listening to Jordan Peterson last week, and he was talking about how important routine is.
Yeah.
For especially just for kids. Because you look at, I look at my kids all the time, and they are no routine, and they can't do anything. They have all these options, and they can't pick one thing because they've got no routine. They've got nothing that is like, I got to get this done at this time. He always talks about the right thing in the right place at the right time.
I totally agree. We've seen that in our household. Like when summer hits, we usually give the kids like, a week or so just doing whatever they want, but it's like pretty quick. We're like, okay, we need a summer routine.
Amen.
Right. And that's one of the things we crave at the end of summer is school to start, because there is a routine and
somebody else telling you what to do.
I mean, it matters even for me and even for my wife, like knowing exactly what's going to happen tomorrow is comforting.
Yeah. That's why people get trainers and they get nutritionists and they get all these people, because they're telling you what to do and when to do and how to do it.
I work out way harder when I have a trainer, way harder.
Yep. Group fitness. Somebody will go in, and if there's somebody standing up at the front yelling at them, they do way better.
Plus, I don't know, accountability. Like I feel I'm weird like this, but I get like, and maybe I'm not weird. Maybe a lot of people are like this, but I get like an emotional attachment. I want my trainers to think I'm awesome. Yeah. And so I want to show up and I want to sweat and I want to work hard, you know? So there's that accountability to someone else who probably does not care or think about me at all in any way, shape, or form.
And that works for a lot of people where they hire a coach, a life coach, all kinds of coaches. But the fact of the matter is we know is it's not rocket science. It's not physically hard. No. It's just implementing a routine that creates good habits. Yeah. That's all there is to it.
Being your own boss.
The most effective, I guess, fitness bodybuilders, people who are in shape, they eat the same things day in and day out. They eat the same workouts. They're doing the same stuff because little by little, you want to move a mountain? Well, guess what? You start with one stone.
Right.
And that's what a habit and a routine does. Yeah. Is you start moving that mountain. So if you're in a spot where you're overweight, if you're in a spot where you feel like crap, where you're less productive, where you just feel bad, you don't even want to look at yourself in the mirror getting out of the shower or look down.
Well, there's even those that aren't overweight, but they're unhealthy. Yeah. And they just feel crappy.
And you just feel crappy. So it's not, we're not here to tell you you're going to move a mountain from today to tomorrow, but you can pick up a stone and you can move that stone today. Yeah. And so what are some of those things? Because I talk about like me eating hard-boiled eggs and fruit is like my go-to meal for lunch and what I try to eat as much as I can, because I know it makes me feel full, and then I don't have cravings, and I'm drinking my Hona in the morning. So I get the fiber. So I have even a less cravings and a less hunger pull to me.
Yeah. So you need to build a life of good habits. And there's a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. That's amazing. But he talks about the 4 habits that you need to do. You need to make it obvious, tangible, and able to do. And then you need to make it attractive and appealing and motivating. You need to make it easy and satisfying.
Okay.
So
I think easy is probably the most important one out of that, because like we talked about last podcast, in a world today where everybody's just go, go, go. They're being productive. They're being pulled at both ends, running around, head cut off, just trying to make sense out of the chaos. Having ease is a key, because that's why most people eat like crap, I think.
Well,
it's easy.
And we were kind of talking about this before the podcast, but I think if like a little bit of a paradigm shift, at least from where I'm sitting, and I think a lot of people will relate, is that you think like running down and grabbing some food at your local fast food spot is like easier, but is it? It's gonna take you 5, 10, 15 minutes to drive there. You're going to sit in the drive-thru or in a line for 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, and then you're going to bring it home and eat it.
No, you're not going to bring it home. You're going to eat it in your car.
I mean, a lot of people, but hey, I like to eat at my own table, so I'm just relating to myself.
You're going to eat it in your car. You're going to spill it all over your car, and then you're going to have to go to the car wash and spend an hour washing your car and cleaning your seats because you went and got fast food. So literally, it's way more time.
I like Panda Express, and if I'm eating Panda in my car, I'm not worried about cleaning my car.
Gross. I know how your car smells, so yeah.
So how do you structure your environment so that you can be successful? Like you walk into a room and you ask where the space is intended to do. Where is the food and how easy is it to find?
Right.
And we were talking about that the other day when, we try to not keep stuff around the house that we know is going to be our go-to when we're hungry late at night. And tell them your story, Justin, the other night.
Oh, so, obviously Halloween just happened, a few weeks ago. And it's funny, my daughters went and she picked out everything she liked, but then she just put her bag of Halloween candy to the side and she doesn't get back in it or anything. She doesn't care. But, I like Reese's peanut butter cups. That's like my cheat thing, right? And she doesn't like those at all. And so the other night, I ate healthy the whole day, saunaed, did my hot yoga in the sauna. Yes, I'm a big fan of sauna and hot yoga in the sauna. I think everybody should do that. Your lives will be improved. But anyways, and I just got starving. I have a window. If I don't fall asleep at like 10 to 10:30, then I stay awake for like a couple hours more. And it's just something I have to do better at. And I didn't fall asleep between that window. And I, either I don't know what show was on or what I was catching up on. And I got starved at 12 o'clock and I went in there and it was just like, okay, I just gorged myself on Reese's peanut butter cups, right?
But you knew where they were. And, and you probably opened the fridge first and the fridge was full of healthy things. And then you went, oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
There's a pillowcase full of Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
You knew exactly. So you have to structure it to.
We're not perfect here, people.
No,
that's why we're telling you real life experiences.
Yeah. But I love the quote that about self-control, that people are not superhuman. The people with the most willpower are the ones tempted the least. So it's something that you have to do for yourself. It's not that people just have this amazing willpower and you don't. It's that they have the least temptations.
So removing temptation.
Yes.
So what are the things we can do to remove temptation? Sorry.
Oh, I was thinking so you get those motivated pockets, right? You're like, I'm motivated to be healthy right at this moment, right? So that's a good opportunity to go and structure your situation for the highest level of successful outcome, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're not feeling motivated or you're feeling down, you're not going to do it. You're not going to get rid of your junk food or make it harder to access or put it further away or whatever it is, right? So take those pockets of motivation to develop a scenario that you could be disciplined, that will encourage your discipline, right?
So I have 2 things that I can say, that one for myself and one that I've done for my kids. But for myself, that I've told a lot of other women when they ask me for advice, is I print out a sheet of snacks, like of go-tos that are in a cupboard, so that when I get hungry, I don't just go open the fridge or go start searching through because I'm going to eat whatever I find. But I open the cupboard and I look through the list of, oh yeah, that actually sounds good. I wouldn't have thought about that. But I do remember that I have apple and peanut butter, and that actually sounds good right now.
Some almonds,
Yeah. But I have the list of the things that are in the house. So it's in front of me and I will remember.
Where's that list? You're not sharing that list with me.
Well, we're in the middle of renovation. And so I don't know where anything is right now.
Right.
But so the other thing with my kids that I noticed when they were younger is they'd come home from school and the first thing they would do was, where is the snack cupboard? Or where, we had a drawer. When I was growing up, we had this whole drawer full of Hostess stuff. And I think it's probably ingrained in me that I need to have a snack drawer for the kids.
We have snack bins at the house.
You're not a bad mom if you do not have a snack drawer.
No. And if your kids come home and say, there's nothing to eat, you're not a bad mom either. Like, get that in your head. Yeah. But anyway, I would notice my kids would come home and they'd look for that. But if I took 10 minutes before they got home and I just took out the carrots and celery and ranch or whatever and made a cute little thing, or even fruit, like even a bowl of the mandarin oranges, if they were on the table instead of in the fridge, they would just start eating them. Like, they wouldn't even go for that because it was in front of their face. So we need to put it in front of us and, have a plan.
So remove the temptation to eat crap food. Those were great points you just said. Have a list of good foods and snacks to just go to and read and go, okay, I'm going to get these. Having good food available and ready right there. So, it's not hard to find. What else? What else can we do to move temptation? I
like forethought. Like, one of the things that's worked for me when I'm doing well is, like, you get in the fridge, right? And you're trying to find like what's easiest access. I kind of started thinking about like, well, what's going to taste really good right now? And what's always super good? Some grilled meat with some seasoning on it, or some eggs with some onions cut up in it and stuff like that. That's a little more effort, I know, but I'm thinking about like how yummy that's going to be.
Yeah.
And that motivates me to produce it, even if it's late at night.
So food prep.
Yeah. So like, well, I guess food prep, but just for me, it's just thinking about like, a Reese's peanut butter cup's going to taste awesome right now, but I'd way rather eat.
You're going to feel worse after
some sauteed onions and mushrooms and eggs. And that doesn't take too long to make.
Or make a deal with yourself where it's like, oh, I know where the Reese's peanut butter cups are, but how about I do 2 mandarin oranges first and see if I don't want sugar after that.
Oh, I don't know. I need to eat like a meal. Like, if I'm feeling snacky, the best thing for me is to eat like an actual meal.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It just needs to be something healthy so that I don't put on a bunch of calories and weight, right? So, because I'm just going to snack until I feel full. So if I eat 2 mandarin oranges, I would also eat 4 or 5 Reese's after that.
That's totally an American thing. Snacks. Like, who made up the word snacks? Why do we need snacks? We feel like we need snacks. Like, my kids think that snacks are a part of the day.
Yeah.
No. Like,
we didn't really have snacks when I was growing up, but we definitely do at our house. Like, and I love it too. My wife makes we have 5 or 6 or 7 different bins, and they're supposed to be for their lunches. So they're supposed to grab some pre-bagged snacks and throw them in their lunches. And it'll be like granola, it'll be crackers, it'll be like veggie sticks and stuff like that. And they're supposed to grab all that. Really, a lot of times it's me at like 11 o'clock at night, or on the weekend, and I'm up playing video games. I'll go and start grabbing all my favorite things out of those snack bins.
Yeah. Because it's easy.
Because it's easy.
And so like, one of the things you talked about is make it easy to make a choice. What was easy to me was there was a bag of Halloween candy sitting in my kitchen. So what happened the next morning? You threw it out.
Yep.
You threw it out.
And I put it underneath all of the nasty garbage. I didn't just toss it in the garbage.
Yeah.
Are you a scavenger?
No.
Justin?
Oh, everyone's a scavenger.
My gosh.
No,
you know what my roommate
gross.
used to do when she would throw, she's like, okay, I don't want any more of this cake. And she'd throw it in the garbage, and then she'd take the Windex and she would spray it.
Oh man.
Because she knew. And if you know that those are your habits, you just need to pay attention.
We have this guilt thing too, like where it's like, oh, if you go and buy it, then you got to eat it. Or if somebody drops off a cake, a bundt cake, those bundt cakes are awesome.
Or if somebody that you love brings over
cookies or whatever, and you're like, I can't just throw them away. They worked at this and all this. And it's like, I give you permission, people. You can throw it away.
They'll never know.
And they'll never know. And you can say how good it tastes. You could take a nibble of it and go, wow, yeah, that does taste good. I'm throwing you away. Spray the Windex on it so you don't want it again.
What's that thing you get for Christmas every year that no one wants to eat? Like a fruit cake?
Fruitcake.
Fruitcake? Just easy. Treat every pie like a fruitcake.
A dried piece of fruitcake that's been manufactured in some plant.
I've just shocked people even give those
6
away.
months ago, and it's still in the plastic wrapping, and you want to eat that. I mean, that just goes to, even again, people, food is medicine. If it's made and packaged in a plant miles and miles away, so it can have a shelf life of a year, that's basically, a meal, you don't want to do that. Like, that's not good for you. It's not going to give you the nutrition. It's been stripped of it all. So
another thing that we always say this when we get to the grocery store, but don't go shopping hungry.
I know.
That's a
go
good
with
point.
a list and don't go hungry.
I think about that all the time. I do it anyway, though.
Yep.
We're just busy people.
Oh, I'm eating this stuff on the way home. Like I'm cracking open things. But or don't go to Costco.
Don't go to Costco. Don't go to
Costco's
Don't go
trap.
to Trader Joe's.
And they
hungry.
put all that yummy stuff on the way to checkout. And you're just like, first you walk past all the healthy stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's all the...
Where are all the snacks at Costco?
And that's
right
hard.
by the register.
Yeah.
That's hard too, but also just the quantity.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't shop at Costco.
Okay.
Sorry, Costco.
So make it easy. Okay. So make it easy. Have good food available. Get rid of temptation.
Yep.
Don't go shopping when you're hungry. What anything else on there?
Yeah, and just breaking the bad habits. We're talking about making good habits, but breaking them, you invert it. So make it invisible. Like unsubscribe to emails. Don't be watching commercials, and do things that can don't shop in the candy section or keep junk in the house like we talked about, but make it unattractive, make it difficult, add friction to the steps between you and the behavior. Like we talked about, it's so easy right now. You just call Uber Eats and get it if you don't feel like driving to Taco Bell. Like we talked about, we live a little bit farther
talk about the
from
expense.
Yeah.
My gosh.
But just realize that it's more expensive, but make it
there's times I've gone like, oh, it's 10:30 and I'm like, Taco Bell's still open, but it's 15 minutes away. So that means it's going to take me 15 minutes there, 5 minutes ordering. I don't want to go.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, when you make it harder to do that, then you're like, okay, well, what are my options? Oh, there's some oranges. There's some hard boiled eggs. There's some string cheese. There's some cut up vegetables with some dip. Oh yeah. I'll go for that.
That's what I was getting at earlier, is like, you can spend 45 minutes to an hour going to grab fast food down the road, right? Or you can spend a half an hour whipping yourself up something delicious and not even have to leave your house. And it didn't cost you anything extra. It's already in your fridge.
Well, and you notice too, when you start eliminating the fast foods and the processed foods and you start eating real foods, all of a sudden you'll have just a strawberry one day and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can taste that strawberry. But if you just had ice cream the night before and you've been eating candy and chips and all that and French fries, a strawberry is like, it's not that great. It's not as good. It's not as flavorful. Same things goes with real food. Like if you're eating real food, it starts to taste so good. You can taste the nutrients in it. And your body says, this is good for me, but it's getting rid of all that processed fast food crap.
Yeah, your palate actually changes.
It does.
It really does. I did paleo diet once. My wife and I did it together. We were doing a CrossFit challenge and they gave us a paleo cookbook, which screw paleo. That was a brutal 8 weeks or 12 weeks. I can't remember how long it was. It was horrifyingly hard, but I totally cheated, and they had fresh squeezed orange juice at the store. Like somebody would actually squeeze an orange juice, and I bought one of those, and it was like $4 for this little bottle. It was so expensive, and I drank it. I dream about how delicious that orange juice was to this day.
Yeah.
And that was many years ago, 8-9 years ago.
Yep.
It was
Well, it's funny. I got another story. When I was totally like broke college student working, and it was like a Thursday night, I had no money. I had gas in my truck, like no food in the fridge. I had some roommates, but they would, we were always like, okay, this is, you mark your food, you have this shelf, all that. The only thing I had was a can of green beans, string green beans. And I was starving. I cut that thing open, put it in the microwave, heat it up, put some butter and salt on it. It was the best green beans I had ever eaten.
Talks about those green beans.
I mean, we're talking 20 plus years ago. And it was because I was hungry. It was real food. I hadn't had junk that day because I had no food. And I was like, I had to get through 10 hours to get to where my paycheck hit the next day and I could actually go shopping again. So, I always tell my kids that story.
It's totally true. I did a wilderness program when I was a kid, and we would eat rice and beans in tortillas like very frequently. You'd have your dried rice and your dried beans, and you boil them up, plus start a fire and cook it up. And I loved it with some cayenne pepper that we kept around and rice and beans, and that was it in a tortilla. It was so good every day. I loved it so much. I came home and I bought myself a bag of dried rice and dehydrated beans and made one. It was awful. It was so gross. I was like, I can't, but I was so excited to eat it. And it was just like, this is garbage.
So we basically live in fast food Disneyland.
Yeah. We really do.
We live in fast food Disneyland where it's like we're having Disneyland for our taste buds every day. And you need to stop that. That's part of breaking that habit of getting yourself healthier is going, it's okay not to go to Disneyland today.
Yeah. And have a cheat day.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it is hard just to look at the bleak future
Give yourself
of just
a break.
Eating paleo for however long, but, you know, having every once a week going, okay, that day I'm going to splurge and that's going to be my day of, you know, and you look forward to it.
Well, that's what I like about carnivore diet. Like just beef has so much more flavor. You know, you can salt and pepper a good steak or some burnt ends or something, yummy. And it's so good.
Yeah, we're meat eaters. We're meat eaters here for sure.
So one more thing that I wanted to get around to though is changing your social environment, friends and family, and hangouts. And because I get asked all the time for diet advice, and one of my friends one time that was very overweight and just struggling, and she could not figure out how to just get started. And I kept giving her advice and I was saying, you know, here's this and this. And I thought I was doing such a good job. And she's like, but my family, she's like, every Sunday we go over to my husband's house, mom's house, and everyone's overweight, but there's not a single healthy thing there at all. And then once a week, we usually will go out with friends. Same thing. We'll go, they pick Olive Garden or whatever. There are no options. Like, what do I do? And so sometimes you have to change your environment. You have to just, you know, set a certain time period and say, you know, I'm not doing family dinners for this long, and see, or go full, eat ahead of time. And then, you know, fast
the day before.
I mean, that's hard. It's hard to show up though at something like that where everything's in front of you and you're starving.
I fast.
Like you're gonna break.
Yeah, but when I'm fasting, I pig out.
Exactly.
It's just when I get to eating, when it's finally time and I have personal permission.
It's right, but that's different things for different people. That works for me.
Or bring your own food. Like bring your meal. You just you seriously have to be prepared. Or, you know, if you have friends that's all they do, you may not be able to go and do it if you know yourself and you know you're not going to be able to.
She could just drink some fiber
ahead
of the mealtime, because that would help keep her glucose levels down and it would help her eat less. So she could just have a nice fiber shake, nice Hona fiber and greens before she gets her meal. That's something I should do. My family, we do a dessert buffet once a month, and it's a wonderful get together we have at the in-laws. And but it's just like, it's so much pie and cake and stuff like that. It's like, I could probably do myself a favor and just drink a fiber drink before we go to that. Yeah. And it probably would have less impact on my weight.
Yeah.
For sure.
If you're going into these things with knowing you're going to fail, you know,
right.
That's not good.
I'm going to fail. I love cookies and cakes and pies, right? Like I love it.
If you go in there hungry, you're going to fail. But I think I couldn't agree more. Like having a fiber drink like ours, you basically get in there and you're like, you take 1 or 2 bites and you're like, okay, I can't eat anymore. Like I just have no desire. Like it's gone. It's the weirdest thing. Like fiber is a miracle like that. It does like that. It takes away that desire to be like, I mean, it's a couple of times where we've been eating out and I'm like, I usually could eat the whole meal and I'm like, I'm done. I get it away from me.
Yeah.
Get it away from me. I'm done. I don't want any more. And that's part of the beauty of having a real supplementing with something to offset the rest of this modern world's craziness. Anything else to sum it up?
No, those are the points.
Awesome. Andrew, anything else?
Yeah, I'd just probably close on just focusing on discipline. I know that in my life, I've seen the most success when I've been extremely disciplined, whether it was running marathons, losing weights, or trying to excel in my career. When I made a plan and I stuck to that plan, it made everything easier. I often tell like new employees or people that I work with that if you do everything the exact same way every single day, bad things stand out. Whether that's if you're speccing a project, if you spec a project at work and all the specs are listed the exact same way every single time, you'll notice if something's missing or out of order. Same thing with your days. If your plan is to get up at 5 a.m. every single day, once you've done that for a while, not getting up at 5 a.m. is going to feel weird. It's going to feel like you didn't achieve or you didn't do good enough. And so the next day you're going to get up at 5 a.m. because you know that it makes you feel good. So just focusing on that discipline, I think is probably one of the most important aspects about living a healthy lifestyle, whether that's mental, emotional, or physical. Yeah. And being fully disciplined.
And stress and fatigue make everything harder.
Absolutely.
So if you can eliminate any portion of that, you know, get a little bit more sleep, prep ahead of time so that when it is stressful, you don't have to make certain choices. They're made for you. It helps.
Yeah, that's where that routine and discipline comes in, right? Is they really, if they take the decision making out of it, which really reduces stress, at least for me, making decisions, even small decisions, is really stressful. I don't know if it's just getting older or the impact of those decisions or what.
Yeah.
But so if like I can have half of my decisions in a day pre-made,
yes,
I am definitely going to have a lot more success in that day.
Yeah.
More productive, more achievable.
That's one of the definitions of anxiety, is having too many decisions and not being able to make one. Just feeling like you cannot make a decision. That's anxiety.
Yeah.
So if the decisions are made for you, or if you have less to choose from, less anxiety.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
for me,
I
get procrastination, right? When I don't have a plan, when I don't know what I'm doing next or what I'm doing for the whole day or the week, I will end up not doing very much. And then I'll end up with tons of stress and anxiety because I didn't know what to do. I just procrastinated. Yeah. But if I have like at 1 o'clock I'm doing this, at 2 o'clock I'm doing this, at 3 o'clock I'm doing this, I don't even think about it. I just be productive.
Yep.
That was a good point, especially about the anxiety. Decisions made gets rid of the anxiety.
And anxiety and stress give cortisol. Yeah. Cortisol adds weight, right?
Yeah. So it is all connected. It's just scary how much your gut affects everything else.
Everything.
So we're giving you permission, folks. Go clean out your fridge. Go clean out your cupboards right now. Go throw all that crap away. Make it easy. Get in a routine. Be disciplined. Go to the gym, work out, get a plan, go for a walk, make a plan, get your meals ready so you can now be more productive and all be happier.
Yeah. Eat healthier, add some fiber to your diet, go to the gym. You will save money. You will feel better. You will be happier. I mean, it's guaranteed.
Yeah. And recognize when you feel good and why you feel good. Like when you eat and you go, oh, okay, there's that feeling. Yeah. I want to feel this all the time. Or when you pig out and you feel bad, coordinate it where you're like, okay, that's how I feel. I don't want that anymore.
Yeah, be accountable to yourself. Think about what's going on for sure.
Okay. All right. Thanks for listening, folks.
Thank you.
See you next time.